Frail elders often have multiple chronic illnesses that are apt to require emergency trips to the hospital. Sometimes multiple trips over the course of a single year. I've invited Amy O'Rourke with the Cameron Group in to share her wisdom of how families can best manage these emergency visits. And Amy, thank you for being here. But I use that term frail elders. And what exactly is the definition of someone who would be a frail elder?
Well, here's what I want to tell you. One, when you hit 65, people will say, oh, you know, the 65 plus generation.
Right.
And when you hit 65, diversity increases. So you can easily identify a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old or a 20-year-old, but when someone's 72, you might not see how old they are. So a frail elder is somebody that's experienced an event. And an event is something that has occurred, usually a medical intervention of some kind, a hospitalization, a medical treatment. Once they have that event, the frail elder is someone that is moving more slowly.
Now that makes sense. It isn't a number that we're looking at.
That's
it's
right.
the overall situation.
That's right. You have the outliers that are 95 and they're just as energetic as they were at 72. And then you have the very old 72-year-old. Yeah.
Well, now, I know from my own situation, going to the hospital at any age is really overwhelming. It's fast, it's slow, it's just a lot of people moving back and forth. And how do we help out the frail elder when they go to the hospital or the emergency room?
Well, first thing you're going to do is if you're helping a frail older person is you're going to be watching for signs to help them before they get admitted. That's job one. Watch, are they drinking, are they eating, how are they doing? So you prevent the ER visit to begin with. Once they hit the ER, it is overwhelming. Things move fast. You can't even identify who's who. Who's the aide, who's the nurse, who's the doctor. You don't know who these people are. So it's moving fast. So job one is slow down.
And possibly can, someone really even avoid going to the hospital?
Well, here's the thought, and I'm glad you said that. One, is it something that could be handled at an urgent care center? Is it something that maybe your doctor has admitting privileges that you can be admitted privately? Does your physician allow for telemedicine where they can call in and see what's going on at home? Does your doctor make house calls? Can you go on hospice and prevent going to the hospital at all and have a hospice doctor managing your care?
There's so many other possibilities.
There are.
One thing I did want to address, there's a couple of terms that I'm not quite certain about. Now, there's under observation and there's being admitted to the hospital, and they're not interchangeable.
They're not interchangeable. So a few years ago, I want to say maybe in 2013, I got a call that this daughter's mother had not been admitted to the hospital and she didn't understand. Like, how can you be in the hospital and not be admitted? What hospitals do is they put somebody under observation status, and that means they're not admitted. So the primary thing that you need to watch for is that's going to cost you money because they're being treated as an outpatient.
I see.
Right. So if they need rehabilitation or therapy, say in a skilled nursing facility, that's not going to get covered under Medicare if you're under observation status. Now, in 2015, the Center for Medicare said, all right, hospitals, you have to give notice to the patient and to their families. If they've been under observation for no later than 36 hours, they must have verbally and in writing notified the person that they're under observation status. So, but even most recently, I had a client that just called and said, my mother's been in the hospital for 14 days under observation. So you have to be really proactive in determining their status.
Right, and so now if people want a little more information, how do they get in touch with you?
They get in touch with me by calling 407-896-2010 or going on the website, thecamerongroup.us.
So Amy, this has been an eye-opening conversation. So thank you for sharing your wisdom on how to manage an emergency room visit. Thanks again.